you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to February. Today we're talking about my monthly favorites, the favorite products from the month of January. If you guys have been with me throughout the month, you'll know that January was a full month of nothing new for me. I did buy two things in the month of January. One was a lip gloss at Marshall's that I just could not resist. One was an eyeshadow palette, but I bought it literally like 2 days before the end of the month for February. Plus I had a gift card. Okay, Mandy, stop. Stop making excuses for yourself. Let's jump into my favorites. Quickly before we do, a special welcome to any of you that are new to my channel. I hope that you will consider subscribing if you haven't done that yet. Also hit that notification bell if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that said, let's get started. Alright you guys, so as you can imagine, I've got a lot of old favorites that are in here today. I also have a handful of things that I picked up or was gifted during Christmas time that I've fallen in love with this month. So we've got a good mix in here. But let's start off with an old favorite of mine, and it is the NYX lip liner in the color beige. I've had this pencil for a long time. I've repurchased this at least once, but I kind of forgot about this thing until this month. I pulled this back out and realized how much I love this pencil. Now you guys probably know, especially if you watched my most recent video or if you've been watching my videos for a while, how much I love the Milani lip liners. But I'm going to swatch this next to the Milani lip liners just so we can kind of see the color difference. So here are the two Milani lip liners. Here is the NYX beige lip liner. Now I always thought the word beige was such a weird color for this lip liner because it's a nude lip color. It's slightly pink, but when it's compared to other lip liners that I have, it has this, like, I can't explain it, like dustiness to it. That now that I've seen it next to other lip liners, it makes more sense to me why they gave this the name of beige, because there's just something about this that it defines your lips in almost an imperceptible sort of way. It's that perfect kind of your lips but better color. It has a hint of like a cool gray tone to it, but it's not overly cool to where it's going to make you look like you have dead lips. And I think what this lip liner is amazing for is just giving your lips definition right around the rim of them, where you want them just to look a little bit more full. Not necessarily for filling in with color or wearing underneath a gloss. This is a really good defining lip pencil. I just love this thing. It's really long wearing. It goes with any lipstick. It's super affordable. You can often find this on sale at Ulta for like $2 to $3. It's such a good one, and I just had forgotten how great this lip pencil is. The next product I have is one that has been sitting in my collection for a very, very long time, probably almost a year, and I just had not used it very much until recently. I heard Tati talk about this in one of her videos, and it got me thinking, I have that sitting in my drawer, and I don't know that I ever really formed an opinion on it for myself. It is the Catrice Camouflage Pot Concealer. Now typically I've not been one that's gotten into pot concealers. I am very much a liquid concealer kind of girl, but what I've discovered I love this concealer for is how easy it is to use. And I use this in a very strategic way. So I like to take just a little bit of this on just my finger, and I will pop it right in this little section right here, mostly on this like hollow of my eye and just the very first part of my under eye area right there, and it just cancels everything out. I'm very careful not to take this concealer under this center part of my eye, which I have found I've been avoiding doing that with really any concealer lately. I've been getting much more strategic with where I place my concealer, because I feel like if you put concealer all over underneath your eyes and you have fine lines or crepiness that you worry about, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna end up looking heavy and caking and just making your under eye area not look very nice. So lately I've really been only putting concealer mainly in this small kind of dark pocket of my under eye area, just right there, and then right here on this outer corner where I have a little bit of redness or darkness, and I even have a couple of sunspots kind of right here next to my eyes. This does such a great job of canceling those out. I also like to put a tiny bit of this just right next to my nose where I have redness, and I can even put this on top of blemishes, and I find it wears really well for me. It's so easy and quick to use. I've been so surprised by this thing this month. This is the concealer I've been reaching for almost every day for the last couple of weeks. I'm very, very impressed. And by the way, the shade that I have is number 10 Ivory. Next favorite product of mine are these right here. These are the NARS Velvet Lip Glides. These have been around for a while. I found all of these at my Marshalls at a couple of different times. This red one I bought earlier on in the year, and then during the Christmas holidays, I found these at Marshalls like right when they got to the store, when the boxes were fresh and untampered with. So I ended up picking up 4 of them because they were so affordable. I think I got these for like $5.99 a piece. Maybe it was $7.99. The color selection that they had was really amazing. I ended up picking up these 4, and I would have to say the 2 that I've really been loving the very most are these 2 right here. This first one is the color Swing. It's kind of like a cooler toned mauve pink. I don't know, it also has a little bit of peach in it. It's not too cool or purple toned. It's a great color that goes with both a cooler or a warmer toned eye. I really love this one. It's really a like your lips but better kind of color. I am wearing this one along with the lip liner, which I talked about earlier. And then in the center of my lips, I'm wearing this color right here. This one's a little bit more nude. This is the color Unlaced. It's a little bit more of like a peachy Barbie pink. I hate saying Barbie pink because I'm not a fan of Barbie pink on my lips, but it just has that like little nod to Barbie pink that's a little bit more bubblegummy. I don't particularly love this one all on its own, but I love either pairing this with a lip liner or putting this on top of a lipstick that I find to be just a little bit too deep for me. And that's one of the things I love about this formula. This is like a liquefied velvety lipstick that's a little bit more thin than a traditional bullet lipstick, so it works really well to kind of transform the shade of other lipsticks that you might put on. And I often have this problem when I buy a lipstick. I'll either find that it's a little bit too cool, or it's a little bit too deep, or it's a little bit too warm or pink. So I love using these to kind of transform the shade of the lipstick that I'm wearing underneath. I realize you can do that with pretty much any other lip product, but the reason I like doing it with these ones specifically is because they're so thin that they don't make your lips, as you're piling layers of lipstick on top of each other, too thick and pasty and cakey. They're just a lot more thin than a traditional lipstick is, but they still provide a good amount of color. They have pretty good staying power. Now you can buy these at Sephora. They're about $24 a piece, I think. I will be honest and admit that I would not pay $24 for these just because I'm very budget conscious, but I know a lot of people out there would pay that much. And I think if you are looking for a formula that sounds like this, you would really enjoy it. And I'm not gonna lie, there's something to having like a nice packaged NARS product that when you put it on and pull it out of your purse, you feel fancy. It's kind of an experience. If you're into high-end makeup, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily saying that I personally pay for that experience very often, but I understand it. I had to talk about these today because I've been using them nonstop. They've been living in my purse. And if you happen to find them at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, I would absolutely grab one of these. So the next couple things I had to mention are from BH Cosmetics. Now I tried out BH Cosmetics during kind of the Christmas holiday when they had their Black Friday sale. One of the things that I picked up from them was this little single brush right here. This is their Pro, I think it's called their Pro Blending Fluff Brush. I will link it down below. This is like a $4 brush and it is incredible. I really have been enjoying this brush. I know I just talked about this one in my recent 10 brushes that I use every single day video. This one does remind me a little bit of the Morphe M504. I wanted to show them next to each other for you guys because I'm not sure that I did that in that recent video. They are somewhat similar to each other. This one I would say the Morphe M504 is a hair bigger. It's a hair rounder and fluffier, whereas this one is just a little bit more dense. It's also slightly more of like a pinched kind of paddle shape, and it has a tiny bit more of a point at the top. So if you thought the Morphe M504 was a little bit too loose or large for your eyes, you might be more interested in this one. Now this one does, I feel like, pick up and deposit a little bit more color because it is a little bit more dense, but I really enjoy this one. This is a really good multi-purpose brush. It does a really good job of placing color in your crease or in your outer corner. It blends things out really nicely. You can even use this to kind of pack color on your lid because it is quite dense. It's very nice and soft, and it's just so affordable. When it's not on sale, it's only $4, but BH has sales all the time. So I got this for, I want to say like $1.50. You can probably find it anywhere from that price to about $2 or $3. Such a great brush, and if you're in the market for a good blending brush or you happen to be over on BH's website picking up something else, I would highly recommend grabbing one of these. So you also might know if you watched my eyeshadow collection video that I did pick up a couple of eyeshadow palettes from BH Cosmetics. I filmed a video this month with those eyeshadow palettes. I never got around to editing it. I'm telling you guys, this month was a whirlwind for me. There was so much stuff going on. Baseball started and basketball started for my son. We had tournaments. I went out of town. Needless to say, I was hoping to get that video edited and up, and I didn't quite make it, but I am hoping to refilm that video, especially now that I have gotten to know these palettes a little bit better. But I have been using these things constantly this month, and particularly these three right here are the ones that I am most in love with. Let's start off with the Zodiac palettes. These are definitely big and bulky palettes. If you are not into big, kind of obnoxiously large and not very efficiently packaged eyeshadow palettes, you probably will be annoyed by the shape and size of these. I personally think they're cute and the size doesn't bother me, but the performance of these actual shadows is amazing. I love the color selection here. I'm going to show you these two side by side just so you can kind of get a feel for the difference. This one is definitely more of like a cool tone with a heavy purple hand, whereas this one is a little bit more varied and warm toned. I'm wearing this one on my eyes today. I particularly have this kind of peach shade right here all over my lid. I love the shimmer formula of these. It's a baked formula, so it's very dry and very lightweight, but when you wet it, it gives you this like metallic sheen that's just so refined looking and beautiful. I absolutely love it. I've been impressed with the matte formula inside here as well. The color selection in both of these is amazing. This one's actually sent to me by a sweet subscriber. Thank you very much, Natalia. I have totally been enjoying this BH eyeshadow formula. I also really love this Desert Oasis palette. This one I don't think gives you as much variety, and the shimmer formula in here is very different from the baked formula, but it's still a great shimmer formula, and I actually really like the highlighters that come in here as well. If you are into warm neutral browns and you're not afraid of a bit of shimmer, this would definitely be the palette for you, because next to these two blues, which are very pretty, everything else in here is basically like a warm shimmery brown on the eyes. The mattes in here are really lovely. I've really enjoyed the looks that I've created with this thing. As much as I love playing with eyeshadow, there's times that I use palettes like this that it reminds me that, you know, brown eyeshadow never goes out of style. If you're ever in doubt, wear brown eyeshadow. It always looks good. Moving on now to a primer. I believe that this primer has made it into a favorites video before, but I've been using it again this month and really enjoying it again. It is the Touch in Sol No Pore Blem Primer. This is a really good, kind of like a hybrid primer. It's a smoothing primer that also has some more hydrating properties to it as well. And I feel like this one actually does do a pretty good job at just slightly smoothing and blurring this little area right here that I tend to have trouble with. You guys probably know that I'm not huge into primers because most of the time I don't find them to make a big enough difference to justify adding one more step or one more product to my routine. I often talk about the fact that every product that I put on my face is money that I'm spending, and so if it's not doing something for me or serving me, I'm not going to use it. And although this one is not considered a drugstore primer, I also feel like it's not super expensive. I think this retails for about $18, which is significantly more affordable than, say, the Smashbox Primerizer. I do love that primer, but it's like 40 bucks, and I think there's other ones at the drugstore that I probably like just as much, if not more, so it's not really worth that price for me. But I've really been enjoying this one. I feel like it does a great job of just giving me a little bit of like smoothing effect in this little troublesome area that I have in the center of my face. The next product I've also talked about in a favorites video before, but I was reminded this month of how much I love this thing, and it is the Nude Stick Sunkissed Nudies Matte Bronzing Stick. I love the color of this one. It's a nice mix between like a bronzer and a blush. It's kind of like a rosy brown blush, but more than anything, what is a favorite for me this month is just the formula of this one. I am seriously considering picking up another shade of this one. It's hydrating but still long wearing, applies so easily and so quickly. I can't say enough good things about this. The last thing I want to share with you guys is this thing right here. So I also found this at my Marshalls right before Christmas time. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book Volume 2. I found this on clearance, untouched, for $13 at Marshalls. So I snatched it up immediately because I've been wanting to try something out from Kevyn Aucoin for a very, very long time. By the way, is it Aucoin? I've heard people say it differently lately. I always thought it was Aucoin, and I don't know if that's right. I think Mel Thompson calls it Kevyn Aucoin, and I feel like she knows her stuff. But I feel silly saying that, so I'm going to say Kevyn Aucoin. Anyways, beside the point, this thing is amazing. Now, I went home and looked this up, and you can still buy this on Beautylicious website. It is like a $65 palette, which I would never pay $65 for this thing, which, come to think of it, I'm kind of like, really, Mandy? You paid $80 for an Hourglass palette, and you said you never would do that either. But generally speaking, I think that's very, very expensive. But I cannot deny that these Kevyn Aucoin, I mean, all the products in here, but specifically like his sculpting powder, which people have been talking about forever on YouTube. I understand the reason people talk so highly about it, because these are amazing formulas. I have both the cream and the powder contour, and also both the cream and the powder highlighter on my cheeks today, and they do such a good job of giving you the perfect amount of definition that's not too ashy, but it's also not warm. I can't explain it. It's what I think contour is supposed to be, and so often kind of misses the mark on. And also the 4 eyeshadows that come in here are so perfectly done. Here's the thing about a palette like this. It is crazy, crazy expensive, but everything inside of here is just done to perfection. The formulas are perfection. The colors are perfection. Of course, I'm speaking personally for my skin tone. I realize it's not going to be the case for everyone, but for me personally, this is just such a well done palette. Crazy expensive? Yes. Would I pay $65 for this? Probably, very likely not. But I realize not everyone is as cheap as I am, and some people like to invest in higher and more luxury makeup. And if you are one of those people and you've been wondering about Kevyn Aucoin's powders, they are amazing. Speaking of Kevyn Aucoin, I also had to mention this little guy right here. This was also in that same gift package that my sweet subscriber Natalia sent to me. This is their Contour Duo. Now this has their sculpting powder and also their powder highlight in here. This is a very simple basic palette. And if you buy this at Sephora, it's like $25, which for what you're getting in here is a ridiculous amount of money. But again, you guys, I can't deny that these powders are fantastic, and if you like something that's very small and super compact to travel with, I've traveled with this a few times this month and just, it's a little powerhouse. Overpriced, yes, but definitely an amazing little product for traveling. So thank you again, Natalia. I get what the hype is behind these Kevyn Aucoin powders. I still think they're expensive, but I get it. I do get it. All right, and that is it for my favorite products from the month of January. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was so much fun this month to do my full month of nothing new. It gave me a really good chance to go through the makeup that I already have, discover some old favorites, discover some new things that maybe I just had not gotten around to really trying very much, and also enjoy the things that I got over the holidays. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys had a great January. I hope you have a fantastic February. Thank you guys again for stopping by my channel today. If you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to do that before you leave. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you again, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye. Why is my Siri keep going off? Gosh. And if you happen to find them at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, I would absolutely throw them on the ground. But the performance of, no, blah. By the way, I know I'm wearing the same outfit that I was wearing in my last video. I had to film both videos today, and I did not want to take off my white turtleneck with makeup on my face because I'm lazy. I did change my earrings though. I feel like I should get credit for that.